Hello beautiful humans, hey, it's Jay and welcome to my February plan with me. As you can tell by the hangbao, ampaos, or lucky pockets that I have surrounding my bullet journal, my theme for February is Lunar New Year. My family and I do celebrate, so I thought it'd be fun to do as a theme and kind of explain the different traditions associated with it. So get cozy and let's get started. So as you can see on my page, I actually have my January monthly reflection on the left-hand side of the spread, and because I didn't want to waste paper in my bullet journal, I'm kind of starting off my Feb setup on the right hand, and I'm actually going to do a flip up to divide it. So I made this red lucky pocket or ampao design online, printed it, and then painted the gold portions, and that will act as my title page and divider between January and February. On the back side of that flip out, I put my monthly calendar to utilize the space that I have, and then after gluing that, I have my dashboard, and because I already have my monthly on the back side, I just have my important dates and brain dump section here for the month that I'm dividing with a lantern. My color palette this month is going to be very traditional of Lunar New Year, with red, yellow, and gold being my colors. I'm also using this new Sakura jelly roll that I got that's quickly becoming one of my favorites, which is kind of like this warm gray color. I'll leave all the supplies in the description box below, but I think I mentioned in last month's setup that I don't really like using black pens. I don't know, it's probably just me, but sometimes I find it a little too harsh on the eyes. So I bought the Sakura set of the grayscales, and I highly recommend. I'm thinking of potentially doing a Bujo essentials video sometime in the future, so let me know if you are interested in that. To finish this page off, I put the quote, "This is your year" at the bottom because it is my zodiac year. I was born in the year of the ox. In Western astrology, I am also a Taurus, so bulls are a very symbolic animal for me. And it's not just an ode, I guess, to my various zodiacs, but also to reaffirm the hope that I have for 2021. The next page I have are my goals and gratitude spread with a slight twist for my gratitudes, but we'll start with the goals. So I decided to put my goals in gold coins, which are considered to be a very lucky symbol for the new year as they represent wealth, and they're usually kept on a red string in sets of 3 to represent heaven, earth, and mankind. On actual New Year's and Lunar New Year's, my family and I carry coins on us, and we put them at each of the doorways as to welcome luck into our homes. For the coins, I'm coloring these in with just a yellow pencil crayon, and then going over it with my gold gel pen, and then the warm gray Sakura to write down my goals for the month. Quick disclaimer, I do not know all the cultural meanings or symbols for the Lunar New Year. I am Filipino, and it's not necessarily a very common holiday to celebrate back home, but my family does. And because both my parents spent time abroad, my mom in China and my dad in Japan, my family's lunar traditions are kind of a mix of Filipino, Chinese, and Japanese. So I am not an expert, and if you want to learn more about the Lunar New Year, there's so much more out there. But I think it's nice to dedicate a part of my bullet journal to a piece of my family culture. As I mentioned in last month's setup, all my monthly goals relate back to my yearly concepts of wealth, health, connect, learn, and create. And so a big one for me this month is a focus on connect and learn, because I'm attending a few virtual events to learn more about grad school and master's programs, which is very exciting but nerve-wracking for me. My monthly challenge for February I will get to in the monthly challenge spread, but my monthly purpose is to find love in the little things in life, which you'll see more about on the gratitude side. January's purpose was to create a solid foundation, which I think I have in terms of routine and discipline. So February, with it being the month of love, I really wanted to focus on the positive things, especially because here in Toronto we are back in lockdown. To finish off this page, I'm creating the red string to connect the coins together, and the meaning behind the red string I think is fate and good energy. Once again, not an expert. One of my favorite stories growing up was the red string of faith, which has like Japanese and Chinese origins, and I highly suggest looking up. Also, as usual, the jazzifying of spreads and erasing will all happen off camera, but you'll get to see it all fixed up in the flip through. The second half of the spread is the gratitude spread, which I made into a traditional Chinese bamboo firecracker. Fun little story about these. For the New Year, one time when I was back home in the Philippines, my older cousin tied a bunch of these together and set it on fire, and the sound was so loud and shocking that I was actually scared of fireworks for a bit. Similar to the last spread, I'm using a red pencil crayon to color in the firecracker pieces. I actually really like how the pencil crayon gives a very soft effect, and I might use these in future spreads. But for my gratitudes, I usually write one thing I'm grateful for every day, but because February is the month of love, I thought it would be nice to switch it up, and instead of writing one thing I love write one thing I love every single day. Very cheesy, but I thought it was appropriate. My grandma used to say that love was not a loud boom, but a bunch of tiny sparks in your heart, so I thought it made sense for the firecrackers and for this month. A quick disclaimer from editing me, the lighting is going to change, by the way, because while I was filming this, my ring light decided to snap on me, so apologies if the lighting just goes really weird. I edited out where it fell and my shriek, but the lighting suffered a smidge, so really sorry about that. My next spread is my habit tracker, and I love the details in this. For the header, I decided to put the words habit tracker into the lanterns, which I think is generally a common theme for all Lunar New Year celebrations, or at least what I know. Once again, not an expert. For this, I put the word habit tracker in the traditional red lanterns that I grew up with, which is common in Chinese and Korean culture, and then did the mini ones with yellow and gold designs with a predominantly more white, which is common in Japan. On my bucket list is actually to go to the Nagasaki Lantern Festival in person, because the photos are so beautiful, so I can't even imagine how breathtaking it would be to see that in person. To balance out the very detail-heavy top design of the spread, I added my favorite red and gold marble washi tape at the bottom, and then, as per usual, drew out my weekly habits grid and used my stamps to create my daily habit tracker. Honestly, I think my biggest tip in bullet journaling is if you find something that works for you, there is no shame in sticking with it. Doing my habit trackers in calendars and with a grid has worked for me in so many ways, and whenever I try to change it up, I tend to fall off the boat in terms of actually keeping my habits and doing them daily. So yeah, if you find something that works for you, there is no shame in sticking to it. I will also apologize now because my stamps this month are a bit messy. I used one of my new calendar stamps to use this and ended up using my calligraphy pen to just ink the pad, similar to how I used to do in the past, instead of an ink pad, because there are only 4 weeks in February in comparison to the 5 weeks that were on the stamp, and I couldn't really see where I was stamping, so they're a bit crooked. But you know what? It doesn't matter if the habit is crooked. What matters is that the habit gets done. I'm also trying to just put habits that I really want to focus on or have to track, instead of having a list of like 12 habits daily. Like, I know my morning routine, I know my PM routine, I don't really need to track it. So these are the ones that I really wanted to focus on, like medicine, my daily planning for work, my language classes, working out, brushing my teeth after lunch, which I know sounds really weird, but I'm home anyway, so I might as well just brush my teeth after each meal. Drinking water and doing calligraphy, because I really want to learn how to do fancy handwriting. And if any of you lovely people have suggestions on the best way to learn how to do calligraphy, then please help your girl out. My next 2 spreads are very much my style in the fact that they're very scrapbook-esque. I just like gluing and sticking things into my bullet journal. For my monthly challenge, I made this scrapbookish background online that features the 13 animals of the zodiac. I had to put a cat because of fruit baskets. I'm so sorry. And various other symbols for the Lunar New Year, and I'm using this as a background for the spread. My monthly challenge for February is going to be one of creative writing. I recently showed a few friends of mine my poetry and lyrics to songs that I write, and they said they liked it, and I kind of missed writing creatively. So I found a 30-day prompt list, which I'll also leave in the description box, but I'm going to try to write every day, which should be very interesting. I don't know if I'll share it here on YouTube, but I'll keep you updated. To add some shine to this page, I actually found this in one of my junk drawers, which is this like gold Crayola construction paper, which I have never used nor seen before, but I thought it'd be fun to add some dimension to this page. I actually like how shiny it is, and it wasn't too flimsy. Like, it had the same texture as construction paper, which I found very interesting. The next page is my monthly reflections page, which will be another paste-in, but I wanted to add in first this very traditional corner design in gold. You know, I love putting my reflections into envelopes, and one of the big symbols of the Lunar New Year are the hongbao or ampao, aka the red lucky pockets. So I thought I would make one out of construction paper to hold my reflections. The red envelope themselves represent luck and prosperity, so I think it's nice that something lucky will be holding my memories for February. Fun fact, I was taught to never throw out a red envelope because it's considered bad luck to do so. So the envelopes you see around my Bujo are actually ones that have been given to me throughout the years. And recently, companies have started giving them out. Like, I have one from McDonald's, I just showed the one from Cha Time, and even Sephora gives them away now, which is very interesting. My last spread is my first weekly, and I'm going to be trying a different setup this month. I think this is the most common setup, or at least the most common setup that I've seen for the weekly, which is to divide each page of the spread into 4 and then have each quadrant correspond to a date. I'm actually going to be using the scraps of the cutouts that I used in the previous spreads for the headers, just because I had a bunch lying around and I thought it looked really cool, so I used the red ones for the monthlies and then the leftover gold construction paper to represent my weekly quadrant. And that basically is what completes this first weekly. As usual, and as I think I mentioned before, I add some more details and designs off camera just because I don't know, it's very pressuring to figure out where to put, like, it's just me putting the pressure on myself. I know, but sometimes I get stressed thinking about where I'm going to put the washi tape, so I do all those things off camera, which you will see in the flip through coming up real soon. And that completes my February 2021 setup, which I hope you all enjoyed. If you do celebrate, Happy Lunar New Year. 신년快乐, HEYITSJAI, 아케마시테 고메르사이마스, and 새해 복 많이 받으세요. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're taking care of yourselves. May this new year bring luck and prosperity to us all. I love you to the moon and back, and I will see you in my next video. Take care always. Jay.